This is the Lulich Corner. I'm Jordan Lulich, hosted by Lulich Attorneys, and today we have the distinct pleasure to having Valencia Tillery on the show with us. Anna is from White Glove Moving and Storage, and Anna, the way I like to start out the podcast is just why don't you introduce yourself to our audience today?
Well, I'd love to. And Jordan, this is my new favorite corner.
There you go.
Yeah. So I've been with the White Glove team since 2013. We're headquartered locally in the Treasure Coast, though we have a nationwide presence as an interstate agent with Beacon's Van Lines. So we love to be here and make moving an easy feat for folks coming into and out of the Treasure Coast area.
All right. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you've been with White Glove Moving and Storage since 2013.
Yeah.
Is White Glove Moving and Storage, was they founded in 2013 or how did they come into existence?
Well, we actually just celebrated our 21st birthday.
All right. Happy birthday.
Yes. So White Glove was founded in 2002. Phil DeLange, the founder, actually owned a number of pack and ship companies. Mm-hmm. And he quickly realized that there was a need for men with muscle to get those items from the shipping side of things to the actual final destination. And there was a huge interior design population along the stretch that really warranted an expertise to that level. So White Glove was born as a result of the needs from the interior design community, and then became a moving and storage company. So it was a little, the nuances and how we live up to the White Glove name are in effect because of how we were born.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to move. I mean, when I moved to Tallahassee, and then I moved multiple times in Tallahassee, and then I moved back here, and then moved multiple times around Sebastian and Vero Beach, it's a lot that goes into it. And, you know, I've always done it in the past. We didn't have as much stuff as we do now.
Right. The older we get,
exactly,
the more we collect. It's
exactly.
a thing. Mm-hmm.
But, it's a lot that goes into it because you've got to make sure you don't bang up the stuff or
ding the walls and the floors
the furniture.
And
I think that's a lot of people's fear when it comes to moving is, if they do contract a moving company, that their items would arrive damaged or be damaged in the process. And so what steps does White Glove take to make sure that they're working to that concern? Because it sounds like what you said is that White Glove was founded from the interior design. So there must be some type of attention to detail that the company was founded on.
Meticulous we are indeed. Yeah. It all starts, of course, with training. And from the training, it stems from the quality of the products that we provide. So quality moving boxes, quality blankets, all of these things are imperative so that when we are stacking and loading with efficiency and a quickness, everything is able to stay the way we had it, no matter the distance. And I'm telling you, locally, you'll notice that there's plenty of folks who move literally across the street or within the same community. Mm-hmm. They fall in love. They love their neighbors. They love the camaraderie. Yet it's time for them to upsize or downsize. And even in that small stretch of distance, it's the same amount of work involved in properly prepping those pieces so that they arrive unscathed, no matter the across the street, state, or country aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I working in the industry and helping people close on properties and being involved at that closing process, I know there's different levels of moving companies, right?
Correct.
And you've got smaller companies, which maybe just a couple guys in a truck, right?
Yep.
Or there's larger ones where there's a whole fleet of trucks. So what are the different levels of the moving companies that exist in the market?
Well, at White Glove, I'm proud to say that we are of a higher tier when it comes to moving professionals. As a matter of fact, we were just bestowed the honor of #1 agent in the nation with Beacon's Van Lines, 270 plus nationwide. So what an honor that was. Thank you. And that was really a result of the feedback from customers, from fellow drivers within the network, and the labor crews that we enlist when we're doing those nationwide moves. Of course, White Glove locally, we only use our own employees, 50 plus full-time, some second generation. But the average moving company throughout Florida will hover somewhere between 3 to 5 moving trucks and maybe on average 10 full-time crew members, which really creates a a lot of backlog.
Hmm.
Whereas at White Glove, we're proud that we have the 50 plus employees and 16 trucks of assorted sizes in our fleet, as well as not one, but two climate and humidity controlled storage facilities that really lends itself well to the peace of mind that's needed in South Florida. It's humid,
Hmm.
it's hot,
Hmm.
and so we can properly protect those uh, antiques, those high end art pieces, as well as wood furniture and the like, so that whether it's for a short amount of time or a long amount of time, there's a lot of peace of mind to the client. So, moving companies range in size, and they even range as far as where they can take the client. Some can't even leave county lines, let alone state lines. And at White Glove, we're proud to do all of that, including assist with international.
That fleet of trucks is so important because I've seen scenarios because closings, we've got a closing date that's scheduled, but
Mhm.
sometimes there's an extension that's needed, or sometimes the lender can't quite close in time.
Yes.
And I've seen closing dates be very fluid. That's just the nature of the industry,
Hmm.
no matter who you're working with, because some things are just outside our control. And
Certainly.
so when you think about working with a smaller moving company with a smaller fleet of trucks,
Oh, this is the hurdle.
that's that
Hmm.
backlog that you're talking about.
Yes.
That's when you say, no, we can't accommodate that move if you extend it 3 days because we've already got our trucks, already booked. So I've seen that very issue that you touched on play out practically. And I understand firsthand the importance of making sure that you're working with someone who has the resources that accommodate and understand the fluidness of those closing dates.
Yeah.
Um,
Leaving items on a truck overnight or even 2 nights is not uncommon. And it is
yeah.
something that White Glove is able to provide to the client that really does give them the ability to breathe despite the stresses they might be experiencing due to those closing obstacles that sometimes arise.
Yeah.
And keeping in mind also that one of the ways that we really help to create that additional sense of security is that our strong relationship with the realtor allows them to know in advance that should we ever need this, it's already in the back of their mind that White Glove's going to be our hero and
Yeah.
we're going to get this figured out.
The tool in your toolbox.
Yes.
It's a tool
Hmm.
in your toolbox. So it's interesting, as we're talking, you know, a lot of people may just associate White Glove as just a moving company, but I've heard you mention multiple services, right?
Yeah.
I've heard you mention storage. I've heard you mention that you can have a fleet of trucks so you can keep the items stored for a couple of days. So
Mhm.
what are all the services that White Glove does offer?
Great question, Jordan, because I'm telling y'all, men with muscle, trucks, and large storage capacity comes in handy in a multitude of areas. So, one of the ways that we shine outside of traditional loading and offloading that is standard when folks are thinking, I just need a couple of men to help me with this load, is we do provide full packing services, and that can be as detailed and as nuanced as a client might expect, right? So if there is a downsizing scenario, we have within our operation some incredible partners that help us so that we're really allocating certain things for donation and giveaway versus what's actually going to be put into the move. Of course, providing the materials and having those materials for sale, whether someone chooses to hire White Glove or not, is also another service that we provide. There, after the delivery side of things, White Glove goes that extra mile by doing complete installation. So we'll put all the beds together. But when I say installation for residential, it might be beds, bookshelves, dining tables, that sort of thing. We also do that on a large commercial scale.
Mm.
So, throughout the Treasure Coast, nearly every assisted living facility or clubhouse that has been newly built or renovated has teamed up with White Glove to assist with receiving all of those pieces of furniture for the common areas
Hmm.
and then the ultimate delivery, placement, and installation of those. And then after the fact, we come back quite frequently for our designers and for our clients one on one to hang artwork. Hanging artwork has a certification, and
Really?
yes, it does.
Wow.
Yeah, and the toolkit that are equipped on each truck is pretty impressive. Um,
Okay.
who knew? It's a
Yeah.
thing.
Learn something
And
new every day.
yeah, and so we're really proud to offer that service too, because when you invest it, especially in a new home, it's brand new.
Mhm.
You're not wanting to get it wrong when you're trying to hang photos. You want it
No,
done right and done right the first time.
no.
And so that's just one additional service that White Glove provides.
Wow, that's a whole range I had no idea.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. That's awesome, and I think that takes away, what White Glove is doing. They're helping servicing the pain points for a lot of people, whether it
Correct.
be with the artwork or the moving or with the storage of just having somewhere where they could store some. It's pain points of that moving process, really from A to Z. Which I didn't know that. But we're all in the business. We all offer different services, right? But I knew, and I became acquainted from you through the community, right? Through different organizations that we're involved in. And so in the capacity of White Glove, how is White Glove involved in the community, and what do they do locally to give back?
Countless ways that we give back, whether that be in kind with the help of men and space, or of course monetarily, or through the gift of airwaves with our talk radio program that is now in its 13th year of production. There's a lot of ways that we try and accommodate a number of nonprofits and pay to play organizations throughout the Treasure Coast so that everyone is benefiting. We support upwards of 30 plus charities every year in a variety of ways. And I myself actually have a gift of gab and love a microphone.
Yep.
And so time and time again, I've been able to assist by emceeing different events, purse auctions, purse games, you name it. There's just a variety of ways that we can help give back, and we love to be able to do that. Although in any of those scenarios, planning is pertinent, and the more advance notice we have, the better off all players are, so that it goes smoothly.
100%. 100%. So to switch gears a little bit, what moving trends have we seen, right? The last couple of years have been wild, hasn't it?
Right?
It's been crazy.
And you being in real estate law, I can only imagine.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 5 years now, and since 2018, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a fun roller coaster though. So what trends have you seen in the last 5 years for moving, or even going back farther than 5 years? What trends are we seeing in moving, specifically with this area and then nationwide?
Well, I would say, having just completed my 10th year with the company, moving was a direct correlation to the real estate market, right? So if you saw a small uptick, then there was a small uptick in moving. And here throughout the Treasure Coast, the demographics play a role. Most people over the age of 50 are willing to hire a professional to some aspect, whether it's a la carte, just helping with the load, or the full, package. And so we're happy to provide that. Whereas after COVID, there was so many people enticed by the freedoms that Florida provided and the ability to sell high and buy what they considered to be low in Florida, where there was a number of transactions happening sight unseen. And so from a law standpoint, I'm sure you saw that. From a moving standpoint, that was new. That was a different trend for us. We had to really rely on a lot of technology. Thank heavens for FaceTime and Zoom, so that we could see what they were trying to bring down with them, as well as then doing our best to properly place those items, and then getting a thumbs up via the, teleported capabilities, right? Like, what do you think?
Is this good? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You like the picture here?
It's different.
Yeah.
And so it was.
Is that still
fun.
going on?
It's still going on.
It's still going on.
It's still people very much now are used to not having to be present, and they might not necessarily be doing a big transaction from out of state as much that we did see from mid 2020 through early 2022 heavily. But there's going away on vacation at the same time that they know that their move is happening, and they say, you got it, and then just, leave. So I think that people in and of themselves are more comfortable with the idea of, I can rely on this technology to help me. I don't necessarily have to be there because I'm going to go live my best life while I have it.
Good for them.
And for that, yes, I applaud them.
And it's interesting, like you're talking about trends, you're talking about moving trends, but you look where wealth is migrating to, right? You look where money's moving to. And something I didn't realize, even before COVID, people are moving to Florida. Like people are
they are
flocking to Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to 2019, 2018, 2017, Florida's been like a strong, when I say strong, I mean a strong number one. I think for like 2021, 2022, there was about $20 billion of wealth that moved to Florida, right? Which is a lot. But when you think about how much wealth the number two state had, it was around 5 billion. So 4 times the amount of wealth is moving to the state of Florida, which
And we were
I would
second to whom?
correlate that.
Texas? I presume it was Texas.
Yes,
Yeah.
Texas. Which I would think correlates with moving trends as far as more people need moving services and more people are utilizing white glove. So I think it all has a direct correlation.
Now, to that same point, just to extend a little bit on trends, though they might keep a property here, we are still seeing a number of folks that thought that they could make the plunge to Florida full time and realize that it's really just not for them. The perpetual sunshine and palm trees is perfect for me,
Yep,
but
me
not
too.
everyone loves that. They want a little bit more seasonality. So we are seeing right now a trend where people are still going halfway back. So
Snowbirds.
we affectionately refer to
Yeah.
them as halfbacks now.
Halfbacks.
And they're going into one of the Carolinas. And then we're also seeing a big uptick this year in particular of families relocating to Alabama.
Why Alabama?
Big growth center, NASA, lots of big
Interesting.
jobs and really affordable.
Okay,
Mhm.
interesting. So what are a few platforms that consumers can go to verify good companies, right? Because I mean, I
Yes.
know reviews are something that I hear constantly that people check over, but how do you make sure that you do your homework and that you actually fact check that company to make sure you are hiring a reputable company?
Really great question. And I think that pertains to all industries.
100%.
I would first and foremost endorse everyone to value the fact checking and the rigorous background screening that is in place for the Better Business Bureau. I myself proudly serve on the board for the Southeast and Caribbean chapter. We were one of the only moving and storage companies in history to be given the Torch Business Award for ethics, and thereby it led to an open position on the board. Though when you go, you can literally now, they've revamped their platform as such, so you can just with one click quickly vet through and only receive the A+ rated and then be able to get quotes, whether it's for a moving service or for someone to provide you new tires on your vehicle, or from a doctor standpoint before someone touches your body, you know?
So important.
But every industry typically has their own organization that helps keep folks on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
And moving.org or AMSA are
Okay.
really valuable resources. ProMover. At White Glove, we're proud to be aligned with all of them and do our due diligence so that we stay up to date and in their good graces. And it's not to say that accidents don't happen. I mean, there's a lot of rain and potholes out there. I'm just saying.
It's Florida. Yep.
Things happen.
Yep.
But it's how you try and make it right in the end that helps a reputable company stand apart.
Yeah. Do your homework.
Yes.
Bottom line, do your homework. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Why don't you tell everybody how to contact you if they do want to reach out? And there is a generous offer that you wanted to make for people watching our show as well.
Yeah.
So why don't you close it up with just letting people know how to find you and with a little tidbit as far as your giveaway that you wanted to tell the audience.
I love giveaways. I should have been a game show host in a past life, Jordan. And again, thanks for your time here today. Ladies and gentlemen, whitegloveusa.com. That's our website full of great information, including a checklist that's downloadable so that you can make sure that all your ducks are in a row as you lead up to moving day. Additionally, you'll find our phone number there, but 866-GLOVE-10, kind of catchy and memorable, 866-GLOVE-10. And not only is it a free estimate, whether in person or virtually, but we are giving an additional 5% off your labor should you mention this particular podcast at Jordan's Corner.
All right. This is Lulich Corner, and I'm Jordan Lulich. And Anna, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.